and they have since canceled this pursuit. They have terminated the pursuit, so they are no longer chasing him. He still seems to be all over the freeway. Was just crossing over from the shoulder all the way to the right lane, just past the Getty Center Drive, and we believe that the original one was related to a possible DUI suspect, and there may be a child inside of this truck. That's all speculative and unconfirmed at this point. However, LAPD has now apparently for some reason decided to give up on this pursuit and let this person go. So he is now on the number 1 lane, or I should say the number 4 lane of the 405 freeway northbound heading into Sherman Oaks. Unclear if they are going to pick this up again. However, there apparently is some communication with the mother of the child who is believed to be inside that truck. So lots of unanswered questions here. Curious as to why they did decide to give this up, but they did decide to finally terminate this pursuit.
Correct, and we've seen some erratic behavior, even though it's not at really high speeds, but his lane changing is of suspect.
Yeah, we have just picked it up. So in the last 2 minutes, you're seeing what we are seeing essentially. Earlier, I believe he was reportedly driving much more recklessly, but since we've been over the freeway, you can see he's been relatively composed, crossed over there just a minute ago from the number 4 or 5 lane back over to the number 1 lane. But other than that, he is apparently, or occasionally, I should say, gesturing through that sunroof. I'm not sure if he thinks that he's communicating with somebody or trying to wave at the media. Unclear, but I did see several hand gestures through the sunroof just a few moments ago there. He's picking up a little bit of steam here, definitely going above the speed limit. We'll go ahead and throw up our real-time speed tracker, and you can see he's doing just, well, actually right around the speed limit. You know, the problem is he's in the carpool lane, so it looks like he's going so much faster than everybody else. There's a lot of traffic heading up towards Sherman Oaks, but that carpool lane is relatively wide open. He's looking for any gap to accelerate through here, but now that the pressure is off, he seems to be driving a little bit safer, although that's a relative term, especially considering we're under the impression, at least, that the original one was related to a possible DUI. Again, apparently out of the Santa Monica area. Not sure if it was Santa Monica PD that was in pursuit, but in any event, LAPD's West LA division is now the primary agency here.
Yeah, well, it's very nerve-wracking, though, when you see a big truck like this and really, you know, somewhat tailgating some of the drivers in front of him, trying to sort of intimidate those drivers to move over to give him room. But again, it is nerve-wracking when you see a big truck like this sort of barreling down the freeway. And of course, we are at a time when there's a lot of traffic. And I can only imagine that poor mother watching, if her child is in the car, watching them possibly in danger.
Well, knowing that the mother of the child is in communication with police gives you at least some hope that maybe they can communicate with the driver. Obviously, he's got a cell phone there, so maybe they can get a negotiator on the line or something like that. And that may be what's played into them backing off of the pursuit. We don't know. There's a lot of intelligence that LAPD may be working with that we're not privy to, but that would make some sense, especially considering they are in communication with a relative. So we can hope for the best here. It's unclear whether they are even contemplating an Amber Alert. This is the type of situation where you can imagine them at least contemplating that, because you have a child who is under the custody of another parent who is driving under the influence, now on the run from law enforcement, obviously putting that child in a dangerous situation. Whether they decide to go ahead with an Amber Alert, that, you know, there's the kid. You can see a child seat. Is it a child seat? It's hard to see there through that rear tinted window, but it does appear to be a little girl, perhaps, in that right rear back seat.
Yeah, there's a little child's head that I could see moving around back there, so that might explain some of this. Also, you said they pulled off this pursuit. Does that include the airship as well, or is he being followed by a law enforcement airship?
He's got about 4 or 5 helicopters over him. However, I can tell you none of them are law enforcement. So he does have eyes on him. One would presume as is often the case, that law enforcement is very likely watching our stream right now and tracking his movements. But other than that, there is no sign of law enforcement anywhere around him right now.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he's, I mean, just when we got that quick glimpse of him in above his sunroof, it didn't look like he's really super agitated. Sort of calmly, looks like he's off the off-ramp right there at Burbank Boulevard. Is that where he took the off-ramp?
He did. He took the off-ramp. He is now at the red light and patiently waiting at the red light. We're not seeing any crazy moves here, as he does have, he's a little bit boxed in here. We'll see if his behavior continues here, or at least his composed driving. Again, now that the police have pulled off, it's had the desired effect of calming him down. Again, as you've seen with us, he has been driving relatively safely for the better part of the last 5 minutes. Now he pulls on to surface streets. We'll see if that behavior changes. Now he's going right through Burbank Boulevard, using that ramp to just, who knows what's going through his mind, but in any event, he's getting back on the northbound side of the 405, guys.
Right. Well, I know that in seeing some of the early reporting before we got over this, that they said he was so erratic, they're actually considering putting spike strips out there on the 405 just to get him to slow down, or at least on one of the freeways, might have been the 10 freeway, to get him to slow down. That's an indication of how bad it was. So now that he has pulled off, and I'm sure the child is a large part of the motivation here. Plus, it's a giant vehicle with that thing really moving at a high rate of speed. I mean, it's tough to maneuver and get to stop in case something runs in its path.
At this time of the day, a spike strip would be very, very difficult, not impossible, and I'm sure they were contemplating that. If they had the opportunity, that's something that they could employ. But as you point out, David, a pit maneuver would be very risky business with this type of a top-heavy vehicle, knowing that there's a small child inside the vehicle. I think you're right. I think that really limits their options. I'm a little surprised that they pulled off completely, especially not even an air unit, right? There's no helicopter in sight here. So for all intents and purposes, they are letting this person go, but we are aware that they are maybe communicating with the mother of the child. So whether that comes into play, whether they set up to pick this up again further north as he gets further away from the LA Metro, away from the basin, further up into the San Fernando Valley here, that may alter their decision making here. But right now, he is just another truck on the freeway, and I have to say, since we've been over it, I haven't seen anything too egregious, but reportedly that was not the case just 10 minutes ago.
Right. So I know we're going to continue to track this situation. Chris, we'll check back with you and see how it's going and continue to monitor our scanners as well to see if there's an update on this. In the meantime, we want to get back to Dana Romero, who is
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate, go your own way, I won't wait.
bring the funk back.